episode of Road Rebel, we make big block burnouts. So in this episode of Road Rebel, I bought a 1966 Plymouth Belvedere around 3 weeks ago. So now it's time to revive this big block boat and get it back on the streets. Road Rebel, take 518. First drive. So this car is a 1966 Plymouth Belvedere, and it has a cool engine in it. So let's have a look. So this 1966 Belvedere originally came with a 3-in-the-3 manual and an inline 6 225 slant 6 engine. But this thing has a 440 big block in it with a 727 automatic transmission at an 8 3/4 rear end with shirt grip in it. The plan is to get this thing alive and see if we can do some big smoky burnout. So let's get right to it. Right now we're gonna try to get life back into this old thing. We got a fuel filter. We got some new oil, we got transmission oil because it's leaking from the transmission. And then we're gonna reverse it out here. Hopefully if reverse works. And then we're gonna drive it into the shop and start tearing through this thing. This thing has been sitting probably 3 or 4 years before I bought this thing. So you know how new gas is. It turns bad in approximately 5 days. So, so we're just gonna pour some new stuff in there, maybe dilute the old stuff a little bit. And hopefully it's gonna have an easier time firing off. Enamel paint, the water that's on the inside of this jerry can, it's coming out. So we're gonna have to go from jerry can through a filter to another jerry can, from jerry can into the gas tank, into the car, and hopefully up to the carburetor. Did you get that? Because I'm not even sure if I got that. And this is how we get wet feet. Before repairing any old car, you gotta get some exercise in. So we're just out here wind drying the old vans. Let's try and see if we can get this thing fired up. First of all, take a look at this thing. Bah! Brake light straight into your face. So while you're driving, you can't see anything. Oh, it's an oil light, so hopefully it should turn off once the car is fired up and got oil pressure. And we got a dead battery. Well, we didn't have a dead battery. But one problem is the battery is dead, even though it's a giant one. 950. One thing that's really cool about these smart chargers, they're really not that smart, so if the battery is dead, they can't charge. Great invention. Here's a little trick. Old cars, wing window. Great for summers and stuff. But another thing, you can reach in here and then go cranking. And this battery is not heavy. Why buy another mopar for more batteries? What the hell is that? There you go. That's why I got more projects. So one project car can be a donor to the other project car. And you can swap around batteries for like 3 years instead of buying one, I guess. This is also a project car tip. Never tighten your battery bolts, because then you can easily wiggle them off again and throw it in your other project. Let's see if we get light this time. Well, there's a fire in the hole, as you say. All right, contact. Yeah, we got a big header leak, a very big header leak. Let's see if we got a transmission, I guess. Yep. So far, so good. Manual steering. Manual drum brakes all around. This is gonna be a hoot to drive. Okay, so we just got the car into the shop, and the first thing I want to do to this thing is probably clean it out, because this thing smells like squirrel piss, cat shit. Remove these nasty seat covers that is on the back bench seat. I'm gonna clean out the whole trunk, but it is filled to the brim with trim, random parts. We're maybe also gonna have to fix a way to actually hold the battery into the battery tray. And then also we're gonna take a look at the gas tank, because I think it's leaking a little bit and it's not an original gas tank. We got self-taper screws going into the floor pan. It's an old Volvo gas tank or something. Redneck engineering. Okay, so for battery mount, we're gonna do something very FIA approved here. Zip ties. Really high-tech stuff, actually. Man, that's not going anywhere. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is get this rear seat out. I'm pretty sure there's like a rat nest or something in here. We got random hardware, that's always good to have. Plastic cups that have been eaten by a squirrel. Solid throttle though. Hot, big, and dark. I'm gonna crawl up this way real quick. That's the nasty stuff. Let's have a look. Perfect. Mid condition. But hey, it's not that bad. As you can see, the interior is, well, I want to say clean, but that's probably stretching a little bit too much. You don't get the seat sitting in there now, so So I found this little thing. It's a Mopar logo that has a green tint to it. So this car has like a, I think it's like a 1972, 1974 Dodge Challenger steering wheel, but it's missing all the rubber and stuff, and I don't know what's going on. So you just gotta lean in there, and then, yep. And then, you wanna make this thing crooked. And there you go. Okay, so last thing we've done in this car is clean out the whole interior. We had the rear seats out, we also cleaned out the trunk area, which is real damn nice now. Gonna change out the header manifold gaskets, because this thing is, it's header leak madness. It's like, on a big block Mopar, the exhaust bolts go into water jackets or water channels or whatever in the engine. So if you don't seal off the bolts, then you gotta make the nut leak, you know what I mean? So you put some gasket make on there, Permatex and stuff, and I don't think the last guy did that. So water was pouring out of like the last two cylinders over there. You need an open wrench, and then you need also a wrench with a little bit of angle to the dangle. Yes. We have officially broke the seal. Look at all that silicone. This guy literally is glued on the manifold. I mean, why even bother using bolts? Oh no, I think we got a freeze plug over here with a hole in it. Well, that explains the leak, I guess. So we're gonna fix the header leak, but the water leak, most likely still gonna be there. Do we care? No. Are we gonna put in some radiator coolant sealing the globby thing in the engine? Probably not. We'll just let it drip. Look, real quick. This is how you want your header gaskets to look. I'm not really sure why the header leak was, but I think it's right around here. Right around here, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Also, a quick trick, if you got all the, I guess a Metalworks rule or whatever, tape some sandpaper in that unit, and then you can take this thing, right? And you can get right in there between the heads and the header and sand. Of course, you gotta use some better tape than that, but you get the gist of it, right? We got some nice Velcro gaskets. Tech tip of the day, this shiny side, the metal side goes towards the manifold, because the manifold has to heat and extract or whatever, so it can slide on this. 906 hits. We got good flow, we got a single plane Edelbrock intake and stuff, so they were rated at like 390 horsepower back from factory, so supposedly I would assume this thing is making like 400 plus now, because we got headers, we got other rocker arms, better ratio maybe. Maybe it has a little bit of cam, I don't think so, it doesn't sound like it. And we got a single plane intake and a better distributor and stuff, so roughly it should make 400 horsepower, but who knows? we want to torque these header bolts down. So a wrench on top of a wrench, just like that, and then right as the bolt like snaps and crack the head off, right? Then you want to go back a quarter of a turn. So in the Mopars, header bolts go into water jackets, so you gotta seal them up. Now what I usually use here is Permatex high torque gasket, and the good thing with this, the gray one or whatever, it goes up to, I believe it's 700 Fahrenheit, so that's pretty wild. Now I'm most likely gonna run out, so we're most likely gonna have 2 bolts that are not sealed, but you don't have to worry about it. So we got all the header bolts tightened down, so we're gonna put in the old valve cover here, which there's not a lot of room between this weird accelerator cable thingy they have made. I'm putting this upside down. Pretty tight clearance between this homemade redneck engineering over here and the old header tube. Wiring, we gotta have some headlights, position light, blinkers and stuff on this thing. Just gonna fix up the wiring real quick and get that to work again. And now there's headlights. There you go, quick and dirty wiring of the headlights and also position lights / blinkers. Which, oh there you go, loose connection I guess. And let there be light. I think that's both lights. High beams? Oh yeah. Welcome to the dungeon. This is where we produce big air pressure. Yeah, we got air pressure. You engage the lift to go up and down. You gotta shift it like old Grumpy in a 68 big block 427 Camaro, you know what I mean? Whap, whap, whap. On the floor, there's a bunch of ATF fluid from this thing that came out overnight, so that's a problem. This thing is tight. I mean, tonight. AC Delco, you already know we got GM parts in this thing. That's the only way it's gonna work. To assess the damage real quick, I definitely smell some fuel in this oil, so it's a good thing for you. Is that cookies? Is that, You want to get a wrench on the oil plug that somewhat fits, because the other guy have rounded it off, but there you go. You don't have to worry about it. This is what you want to do in an oil change. You want to try to carry 5 gallons of ATF first, and then dump the engine oil on top of it. I'm a certified mechanic, okay? Ooh. Yep, we got fuel in the oil. Definitely. This is so stupid. We're gonna have to roof the drive shaft because, as you saw here when we came into the shop this morning, the floor was filled with ATF. Right there at the drive shaft coming out of the rear end housing of the transmission, it is pouring fluid out. So we're gonna pull the drive shaft and put in a new yoke seal, a new extension house seal, a new transmission rear housing seal. I don't know, it has a lot of names from Rock Auto, okay? So while I'm in here, or while I'm down here, whatever, I'm just gonna check the rear end fluid. Holy crapperoo, that's tight. Yeah! Torque to spec, that's for sure. Sure. That's some really nice clean oil. The camera guy just falls over. If you want to break a drive shaft loose, get something in there and then pop, there you go, it's loose. So hopefully it's not gonna dump fluid all over the place up there at the front, but I guess we're gonna figure that out right now. Drive shaft is out, we are dumping fluid. So So right here got some 80-90 limited slip differential oil. Usually I would put 89-90 mineral oil in it and then some Mopar Sure Grip additive or whatever. But now I'm just gonna put this in, top it off, and then later on in its life I'm actually gonna drain it and put some new oil in there and some new Sure Grip oil in it. By the way, it has a drain. That's pretty decent. Luckily the fluid looked real damn clean inside the rear end, so I'm not too worried about running this thing and beat on a little bit, do some burnouts and stuff, which we're of course gonna do in this video. This thing is more broken than most Fords out there on the road, you know? Don't hate, I'm a Ford guy too. It only took 45 minutes to hammer the seal off. Well, patina preserver, I guess. Yeah, whatever. So let's get the old drippy slong here put inside these like this. Nice. Fuel stake. 3/8 from Gates. Rock Auto. That's where I ordered it. Mates. Only fuel line that I have ever owned that holds up for more than, I guess, a year or so. Where on the Firebird I bought 2 other brands, and in a few months they cracked, dissolved, fuel in the whole engine bay. So I swear by using Gates fuel line. But I'm gonna take all this excess hose right here and we're gonna do like this. Then we're just gonna put this here. It can hang out right here. There you go. Then we're gonna take the new fuel line where the hose clamp then is too small. God fuck. Dude, why the f is this hose clamp so tight? The øjnene, man. Of course the threads are the slowest thing in the world when I get fuel right in my eyes. Right in the old cataracts. Dude, how long is this hose clamp? This is the most miserable fuel line install I have ever done. Time to put in some ATF fluid and hopefully that rear seal is gonna hold up. We'll see pretty quickly, I think, because before it just dumped fluid everywhere. So here we go. While the car was up, we hooked a new fuel line to it and already tightened down the hose clamp down there. So just ran it up here real quick to get an idea of how long it has to be. And then we're just gonna cut it here with the old Fisher Sis. Så man bare lige op her, må du sange langsomt mig. So we just dropped the car down on the ground and we are on the small wheels again because the big slicks, as you saw, doesn't really fit in the back. It kind of rubs a little bit, even though it looks freaking amazing on them. But it's a funny thing, right? Mopars from whenever they started to produce Mopars up till 1972, they had right-hand threads on one side and left-hand threads on the other side. And on this vehicle, they flip-flopped them up the front. So you got 4 different ways of tightening wheels all around. Are you confused? Because I sure the heck am. Let's break some studs. So in this case, right front wheel, I loosened the thing. There you go. It is time to fire this beast up. So let's get the old batteries. We safe. And you know, it's a project car, so you don't tighten these. Because when the car bursts into flame, you want to be able to rip it off quickly. When you need this battery in another car, which funny enough it is from another car, then you can take it off quickly. So it's a quick disconnect deal. Alright, so it is time to fire this thing up. Let's see, the old red lights. Dude, this thing sounds great. So I'm just taking the camera here real quick. We have one problem, and if you remember when we pulled this car in, it was dripping coolant out of the driver's side head. That's fixed, that's great. Probably fixed itself, because I didn't do anything, but now I have a problem. On the driver's side, it is pouring out coolant, as you can see right now. Which is straight water at the moment. So this thing before had this standard radiator cap, which will hold pressure, and when you have to fill up water, you have to wait for it to cool down. before blowing your face up and stuff. With one of these things, which are made by Gates, you can open up for the radiator and bleed it off, like the pressure or whatever, and then you can open it immediately, hot engine and everything, with one of these, which is a real good thing, because this thing most likely gonna eat a lot of coolant going down the road right now, and we're gonna have to top it off now and then, so we're probably gonna go every second mile and throw in more coolant. Last touch on this engine is an air cleaner. World's longest stop for a wing nut. That's great. It fixed itself! Alright, I think we're done. I just did my cam dance, because this thing is howdy. You gotta slam these old girls. There you go. We finally got the motor mopar ready after been sitting for 4 weeks in my backyard. We've been thrashing on this thing the last 2 nights, and we finally got this thing fixed up. We still had some leak issues going on with the passenger head where the freeze plug apparently had popped out, but at least the interior didn't smell like rat piss anymore. It was time to go out and do some big old burnouts. The motor mopar is ripping! Thank you. Miata race car. So guys, I am just bombing it back to the shop right now because this thing has no coolant. So I don't know, maybe we're overheating right now. It can't shoot any fluid out that it doesn't have. Shit the bed. I think what's going on right now is the freeze plug in the head is shooting out water. So it looks way worse than it is, I guess, because the car's not running hot. It's actually ice cold. Just like Tina Turner sang one time. Steamy windows! Gas not leaking? Well boys, you already know, when you break down in your little hoopsie, you gotta go into a
pizza joint.
Get real beef. Have to worry about the engine overheating or something. I don't know. This is not good. Nope, not good at all. So we got a little bit of steamy window right over here. It just landed there. I'm not sure if we have a blow bar, head gasket, under compressions, whatever's going on, but that thing just shot out of there. Dumping water quicker than I can fill it in right now. So I'm gonna pull this header manifold off over here again. And of course it's the most rearest freeze plug or cold plug in the head that has blown out or something, probably because I replaced the radiator cap and now the cooling system actually has pressure in it, and then that pressure of course shut that cold plug right out. We just gotta hope and pray and see if we can make some burnouts today. And as you can see right there, there's a hole. Also, big thank you to whoever cut a hole in these fenders from the factory. Okay, so we got the header leak fixed, / the freeze plug. Another thing you maybe noticed when we were out driving is the car is not shifting up on its own and it's always sitting at high RPM. That's because right now the kickdown cable or lever that adjusts the pressure in the transmission, I just hooked the spring on it so it didn't fry the clutches in this thing. But I don't have a kickdown cable bracket or kickdown cable mount down on the transmission either, but we got this really long choke cable, so we're just gonna put that in there. There you go. And then we're gonna run this thing down there, and then I can sit and adjust the transmission pressure manually. So I can go full off for just like cruising or whatever, or maybe like a little bit so it has a little bit of pressure. And then once you want to do a pull or burnout, then you just yank that thing. guys, we got the car on the road again, and the kickdown cable thing works. I actually ended up putting it in here through a hole in the dashboard, and it somewhat worked. It's not my proudest work, but it works. Now we're sitting a little bit under operating temperature, so that's great. We got the leak fixed. I don't see a smoke trail behind us, so that's great. We are doing just around 120, which is apparently 60 in real mile per hour. So that's great. You're joining me on the ground. I'm just laying in the drive me over, please. I'm laying in the driveway again. And as you can see now, it's the driver's side absolutely pouring the coolant out. So, yeah, we're not gonna fix that. It's time to do burnouts. It's time to kill some rubber. Yes. We are just gonna top this thing off with water now. You know, and we gotta do what we gotta do. I sent her a little too hot. Steamy windows. Well, it blew the cap off again. God damn it. And cut. That was the first episode of Road Rebel. If you want to see another episode, click this video right here.